Can I write my book in 30 days while buying a house? I'm sure gonna try. Today is day 6. And in today's episode, I'll start out like I do every day with today's bit of creative inspiration. And it is by the Opera Geek on Twitter. Hey you, yeah you, the one reading this. I just hummed a song for you. You've got bardic inspiration. You can use that extra D10 for anything you need to conquer today. Do the thing. So for anybody that's not familiar with D&D, bardic inspiration is a song that bards in the setting will use to kind of magically bestow the party with special abilities. This is a very geeky call to that. Essentially, the bard's song can give a temporary boost to characters to help overcome tough challenges. As creators, we don't always have someone to hum a song for us, but we can still find or create our own bardic inspiration to keep us going on the hard days. And here's how. The first thing you can do is recognize the power of small boosts. Just like in a D&D game, you don't need a huge dose of motivation to push through those tough moments. A little encouragement can go a long way. Whether it's a quick compliment, a funny meme, or a few minutes of your favorite song, those small boosts can help you conquer whatever's in front of you. The next important thing you can do is create a bardic inspiration folder for yourself. And I'll be completely honest, I have one of these and I use it all the time. Basically, this is a personal stash of encouragement and positivity that you can turn to whenever you need a quick boost. For me, this includes a folder where I save kind things people have said about my work and images that make me laugh. On days when I feel stuck or drained, revisiting this folder helps to remind me that I have that support and to help keep me going. It's like having my very own private reserve of bardic inspiration, and it's ready whenever I need it. And for me, I just keep this on my computer. I have a cloud folder that is backed up via the web that just has a bunch of nice book reviews, nice comments for my writing or my videos. It just goes right in there. I have nice things friends and family have said about me that really touched me. Put it in there and it's ready for when I need it, for the low times. The third thing is giving yourself permission to seek out inspiration. So basically, sometimes we think that motivation should just appear, but actively seeking it out can be powerful too. So what does this mean? What does this look like? Well, this could be listening to a favorite song or, simply just that folder I just talked about, giving yourself permission to go and scroll when you're feeling that kind of permission structure with yourself. Embrace the idea that these acts of bardic inspiration, of revisiting those things, isn't time wasting. It's not something that's hurting your productivity. It is not self-indulgent or bad. It's not a distraction, but a tool to help you recharge so that you remain resilient. And the final thing is something that a lot of people don't really think of, but I think it's really helpful, and I have frankly found this to be extremely helpful to encourage other people along the way. Just like this tweet shared a bit of bardic inspiration with us, you can share encouragement with others too. Small acts of support, leaving a comment, sharing a piece of content that someone else has made, messaging a creator, that can be the D10 boost that someone else needs. And when we do that, we build up a community that's more positive and makes us all feel less alone. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I am feeling down, being able to go and lift somebody else up and to do something constructive and positive for somebody else actually lifts my own spirits too. So it's a very win-win. Okay, so that's today's lesson for creators. Let's talk a little bit about the progress on the book. First off, let's talk about the bad news. So as you may recall, I started the project with 21 points that needed to be addressed. My to-write list had 21 points on it, and I say had because that has changed. I actually had to add 2 more issues to the list over the last 2 days. Yikes. Now, this wasn't entirely unexpected. It's actually pretty normal when you're doing real life writing. Basically, as I was working on the draft and digging in more and solving problems, I created a few other issues that also need to be resolved, just to kind of tie everything together and to result in a better book at the end of this. And that's what we want, right? It's not just the speed of the book, but it's how good the book is. It's not helpful to write a book really, really fast and then have a bunch of issues with it. So moving forward, starting in today's update, all of the progress percentages are going to be calculated out of 23 to write points. It's what's going to happen. It's also worth noting that this progress update this vlog covers 2 days of writing. So Justin was off for a few days and we just had the home inspection. I actually just returned for the home inspection. I'll tell you how that went in just a second. The home inspection took about 4 hours. So between wanting to spend time with Justin when he's off his day job and the actual time of the home inspection, I opted not to film an update yesterday because, believe it or not, between filming the update and then editing them and then uploading it on my slow RV park upload speeds, sometimes producing this video for you guys takes longer than the actual writing session. So I actually wrote yesterday on day 5. I tackled 2 points. I got up really early before Justin and I worked for about 4 or 5 hours on the draft, and I boogied and I worked. And then I took day 6 off, which is the day of the inspection. I didn't write today, although I'm talking to you because the inspection could have run 5 or 6 hours. It could have been a lot more involved, and I actually have the energy and time to do it in the daylight. I'm actually quickly out in my car filming while I have a second. On day 5, when I was writing, Justin was actually working on the travel plans. So I mentioned we are in Oregon buying a house. Our stuff is in Texas. We are actually going to fly back to Texas, open up the storage unit, see our friends in Texas, and let the movers in. And then we're going to drive our other car back to Oregon. It's very expensive to commercially move a car. It's actually quite a bit cheaper to drive it. Anyway, we had the deposit on the movers all paid. We had the flights booked, but we didn't have the hotels booked. So Justin was working on the hotels. He rose late. He gets up earlier during the week than I do, so he tends to get more sleep during the week, so he kind of slept in, and I worked for a while without him, and then once he got up, he kind of took his time getting up and got ready, and then he worked on booking those hotels. And we finished at the exact same time, which was fantastic. So I got to spend a lot of good time with Justin, and then last night I did that, and then today we went to the inspection. And speaking of the inspection, I have house buying news. The house passed inspection. Yay! It's a huge relief. The inspector was very thorough, and we now have a deep understanding of the condition of all the systems within our new house. We weren't really expecting anything major. We'd spent quite a bit of time actually on the property between the first time we went and then after we got our offer accepted. We spent a few hours with our realtor looking around and making plans with her, next steps and all that. So we had hung out in the house for quite a bit, and both my realtor and Justin are very home savvy, very DIY, very techie. They're not home inspectors, but they're pretty good at spotting stuff, especially with that long of a time. So we were feeling pretty good going in, but you know how it is until you go past inspection, you never really know. So house is in good shape. There were no big nasty surprises, and everything is coming together really nicely. Anyway, thank you for being a big source of bardic inspiration to me. Y'all have been wonderful. It's very hectic doing this, and you keep me going. I really appreciate all the kind comments and the questions and everything you've done for the channel. You are really wonderful. This is a very busy time for me, and I promise I'm taking care of myself and making sure I don't burn out. But I really wanted to do this to show you that it can be done. I think sometimes we think that you can only be productive at calm times when nothing is going on, when you have no other commitments. And frankly, I don't know about your life, but my life doesn't work that way. I always have a lot going on. And I wanted to show you a realistic picture, day to day of what a really busy time balancing creative work and a big life change would look like. So we're here in the trenches together. I appreciate every burst of bardic inspiration. Anyway, it's been great talking to you as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.